Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to my final stream. Yeah, it's going to be a sad one, guys. Gonna feel it here. Just to shout out, Pingu, you weren't first this week. Sorry, Pusher, you weren't first this week. Pingu was. He got the first slot out there. Yes, my head's on fire. Yeah, it's just the channel on YouTube behind. Let's catch up with chat, see what's been going on. So Pusher wasn't first. We've got Egler as well, and Pingu. Pingu was first. We've got Invidious Ignoramus. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Who else have we got on here? Rudy Boy, did someone say 65%? There will be a 65% build today, yes. Who else have we got in here? Anarchy, it does make a nice change. Oh, the Christmas music. Yeah, well, it's almost Christmas. I'm not going to do another stream this year. And it is the last one on this channel, so I thought I should make an effort just for you guys. You already know what time it is. Yeah, final stream time, guys. Final stream time. So apparently TX65 white giveaway today. No, that's not the case. We're just building the board today. There is a small giveaway later on. Basically, all of the subs and everything else that you guys have donated over the past few months. There was a little bit left over after we did the last giveaway. What I'm going to do is plumb all that into something and do a bit of a giveaway using the last of that funds effectively. And then that way we end up... me making sure that I get the most out of all of the subs, giveaways, donations, bits, whatever, and putting it all back into you guys, the community. So that's the plan. Yes, there is a giveaway. Yes, music is depressing. Oh, it's Christmas carols, man. How can Christmas carols be depressing? Acoustic piano Christmas carols with fire sounds. Absolutely. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is still on the background for me. Memes. Are you giving away to me GMK DMG? No, I've bought a set, and that's as far as it goes for me. I've just bought one set. I thought the sound of the fire was my speakers breaking. Oh, sorry, Glove. Sorry. We've got Big Aaron Mush as well. Hey, man. Good to see you, dude. Hands. Yes, we've got hands. Yeah, Matt says that my head is on fire. Yes, it absolutely is. We've got Met Advice Guy. You've not moved over to you moved over to your correct channel this time. You were on your Amber one last week. We've got your key bag here to share off as well and show off in a bit. Thanks, Wiz. Yep, I know my hair's on fire. Yeah, I can see. Yep, good. That's what's his face. Yep, hey man. What else is going on? Hi Jay, nice butt. Hi James. Thanks for watching, dude. Thanks for watching. Stocks is posting meme faces again. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Pusher, but you ain't getting a free TX65 out of me, no. Yeah, I don't have a real fireplace, Gio, so that has to do. That is my fireplace, effectively. Querdink is a bit of a Grinch for Christmas. That's fair, that's fair. Hi Andy, good to see you, man. Good to see you, dude. Nvidia says your board wants to put MT3 Elvish back out. This is my Noxry 268 with Vince Blacks in it and Elven, MT3 Elven. Yeah. Who invited Alan? Alan's always here. Alan's a bro. He's always here. Oh, you were replying to why Christmas is depressing, Pusher. Okay, fine. Okay. So today we are going to be building the white TX65, which I have just here all boxed up. We'll unbox this later on and do that. Hey, Tequila Shots with the subscription. Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. We'll be building this later on. I'll do a bit of an unboxing. Before we get there, though, I just want to say again, this is my last stream on this channel, and I want to thank all of you for watching over the past few months. All of my different kind of builds and unboxings, and everything from the VEA to the TGR Alice. I think we even did one of the sets for the Noxry 268 as well. I think we've done quite a few boards, and you know what, guys, I'm really happy that you've been with me all through those builds. It's really honestly meant an awful lot to me. That being said, I will be moving to Top Clack in the new year, so all these streams will carry on happening. So Sunday nights, this sort of time, I'll still be doing these build streams. They will carry on almost every week across the whole of 2019. They will be on Top Clack's channel. I'll also be on the Top Clack news show every Thursday, 3 a.m. UK time, which is going to be a killer for me. But you guys will always be able to catch it up on the VOD if you're not able to watch it live. So that's what's happening. That's where I'm going to be. That's where all my future streams are going to be held, and they're going to be as well. These aren't continuing on this channel, but they will continue on the other channel. So it's just this channel last week. That being said, whilst this is the last episode on this channel, next week Querdenker will be stepping up and doing a build of his white TX65, I think. Quer, is that right? TX65? He's got a white TX65 that he'll be building in this time slot next week, and who knows, there might even be an opportunity for me to jump into a chat with him and get up on the screen with him there. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, let's catch up with the chat before we start to go through what I want to show off this week in terms of mail day items that have arrived. I have got Pingu's board as well, but I haven't got it out. That is going to be on stream in the new year, so we're not going to show it today because I want to talk to him about it first. But it is going to be on stream in the new year. We'll be building his prototype. The Vern also didn't arrive. I was going to show the Vern off today. That hasn't arrived as yet. But the Vern should be here in the next couple of days. When it does, I'll post some pictures up so you guys can see it, and that will be on Top Clack in the new year as well. So Invidious Ignoramus says, what kind of white anode? No, it's not white anode, it's actually white powder coat, but I've never seen powder coat like this, and I do a lot with classic cars and have parts powder coated every week, so to see this is something, it's not true powder coat, there's something different, but I don't know what. Pingu, yep, I know my head's on fire, thanks man, yep. Sinji's posting pictures of Quer. I see that. Building my sweet TX65. Actually, no, this is Mel's. So the lovely Olivia, who we all know and love, she bought this white TX65 for Mel, who quite often watches the channel, and they did just ask me to build it for them. So as simple as that. Are you going to make a comeback? Yes, I'll be coming back on Top Clack, so I'll be doing all of these streams, same setup as you see here, just on the Top Clack channel. Stocks wishes he had a vagina. Nice. Converting TC to ISO, right? Well, my builds will still be ISO where they can be. There will be some boards that can't be ISO because there always are, so the Alice is a good example of it just there. Can't do ISO on that. I think the Vern doesn't support it yet either. So there will be some bits and pieces like that to have a look at. RIP channel, yeah, the channel is going. Can't wait for the top TC build stream with this mat. Yeah, so the international kit mat and the new version of it that doesn't have a big burn hole in as well. That will be here in a couple of weeks. So this will be on Top Clack. Don't you worry, Querdenker, it will be there. It is a TX65 next week that Quer's building, so do guys check him out. He's going to be streaming in this sort of slot, 7:30, 8 PM, something like that. Do check his build out. I'll try and be on his stream as well. If not, I'll definitely be watching him be in chat. Can't wait to not watch Top Clack now. Hey, you don't have to watch it, man. That's fine. Weak boy, Babby needs sleep. Yeah, so the reason why I can do the show on Thursdays for Top Clack at 3 AM is because I don't work on every Friday. I only work every other Friday, and the Fridays that I do work, I work from home anyway, so I can stay in bed until 9 o'clock or whatever. It's fine. Stream so laggy for me, must be the neighbours clogging up the interweb pipes, or is anyone else having issues? Oh, I'm sorry, it says it's fine. It says it's fine here at 6,000 bitrate, so I'm sorry, or about 5892, but it's pretty steady on that one, Pingu. Is it really your board if you don't build it? I wonder. Who says ISO by the letter? ISO, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, man. Next year we'll be saying ANSI. No, that's ANSI, that's different, that's fine. What kind of lighting equipment do I have? I've got, I could take some pictures of it later on, but I've got a big light above here. You can probably see it reflected on my hands. That comes right down above the desk. I've also got another one off to this side. They're just big reflective lights with soft light fillers on front. But yeah, that's what I use. And I've got two of those there. I think they're 500 watts each, so it's about 1,000 watts of light coming across. But yeah. Sounds like some advice. Rudy is often pronounced ANSI, silly bit. Right, okay, I'll leave you guys to it. I tend to pronounce it objectively better than ISR. Well, objectively, I disagree. Subjectively, hey, that's your choice. Yeah, that's all there is to it. Let's kick off anyway, guys. I've got some bits and pieces that I want to show you that have arrived in the mail this week. So the first thing I want to show you is DSA Alchemy. So this is Chris Swires, who's a good friend of mine's set. This finally turned up. I ordered this the week it came out, and it's taken Signature Plastics up until this week to post it out to me. But I didn't have to pay any customs fees, which is really nice. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's kind of grey and gold mods. I'm going to show the ISO or ISO key here. So there you go, guys. These are the mods that you can see, and the accent keys. Really nice shade of gold. Standard MX mount. Nice thick DSA plastic. And then the alpha colour is kind of a beige colour with a burgundy legend. I'll take some good pics when I get this on board, but I'm really happy that this has finally turned up. It's been a long time coming, so I'm glad to see it. The legend colour is absolutely stunning on this. I was going to put it on the board there before the stream started, but I just didn't get around to it. The accent key colour is big oofs. It is, yeah. It's very similar colour to my t-shirt. Probably a bit more orange. Yeah, there you go. You can see. Yeah. But I'm really happy to be able to put this set on a board now. As I said, I didn't have to pay any customs fees on it, which is bizarre in the UK. Normally when we get stuff from Signature Plastics, there's a 21% customs fee that we have to pay. This time, I wasn't present, so that was almost in dollars pricing, just $50 for shipping, which was kind of killer, but there we go. So that was the first thing that turned up. The second thing that turned up was some Alps spacebars. So if you don't remember, guys, I had a brown Alps build that was here last week. This blue spacebar is for the blue one, and then one of these is going to be dyed for my second Alps build, which is going to be a pink version of the board with a pink spacebar and using salmon Alps. So I'm going to be building that on Clack in the new year. I'm going to dye one of these, see which takes the pink nicest, and then we'll have his and hers versions of the board. So there we go. That's the second thing that arrived, again from Signature Plastics, and again there was no customs fee on them. So yeah, let's catch up with chat, see what's going. Sure looks like keycaps. It is. Grats to Chris for this set. Yeah, it's a great set. I think I'm really impressed with it, and it's nice to see it in the flesh. In fact, I actually saw it at Chris's house a couple of weeks ago on his QXP, and it looked stunning there. But it's nice to have a set that I can do with myself. Who needs limbs? Full Metal Alchemist joke, yeah. Really, no fees. I want to get a set now. Yeah, I don't know why. There was a marking on the envelope that said something about it being exempt. I don't know if this is Signature Plastics' new way of posting stuff to the EU, but I had no customs fees. So there we go. Oh, we've got Tidal in the chat as well. Hey Tidal, good to see you, dude. Good to see you, man. What else talking about? Pink and salmon Alps. Yes, it's going to be a pink board with AEK caps. So the anode's going to be pink around the sides, with AEK caps and a pink space bar and a pink cable as well. So that's the build stocks. And do you know what, fam? If you ever want to borrow it, it's built for you, mate. Built for you. The next thing I want to show you is actually something that Meh Advice Guy has kindly sent over for me to have a look at. So for those that you don't know, Pi Parker, who's in the MK UK Discord, made these key bags. They're designed for people going to and from meets to have safe space to hold their keyboards and all of that kind of good stuff. This is one that I didn't get in on the group buy, sadly, but this is one that Meh Advice Guy has shared with me to have a look at. Excuse the noise of the me opening this. This is going to wreck the mic, I'm afraid. But sorry for the loud noise, guys. I do apologise. But inside this one, it's got space for 2 keyboards. It does have the standard over-the-shoulder carry rail. These are just advertisements for Pi Parker's website. If we can get that, there you go. Paradigm Parts. Even the label has a little keyboard on it, which is quite cute. This is the 65% one. It's designed for 2 65% boards. This is fully padded in the middle. I'll show you how thick that is. I mean, it's just really soft and really padded and lined. Honestly, I'm hoping Pi Parker runs a second group buy for these, because I think they're absolutely stunning. They're really good quality, really, really well put together. Yeah, really solid bits of kit. So thank you very much, my advice guy, for sending me this. I will be using this to go to the next meetup that I get a chance to go to, and then I'll send it back to you as well. So thank you very much for that. Okay, the Pi Parker is a cutie. Yeah, he is. Read it again, friend. It was paradigm.parts. Yeah, that's the website. The next thing I wanted to show you guys as well is a little item that came in the post to me this week. So I have no idea if I'm ever actually going to use this, but I for the Hyper 7 board, which you can see just here, I was entered into the Destority Awards for 2018, and I came second place in the Best Innovation category. And this was my prize, a Roller Mouse Red Contour. So I've never seen one of these, I never knew they existed, but I thought I'd show you guys anyway. But effectively what this is it's a device that sits at the front of your keyboard and means you don't have to use a mouse directly. Get this out. So what this is a wrist rest that's got a mouse built into it. Come on, get off the plastic. So as you can see, it's nice and spongy all around here. This is all full sponge that you rest on. It's got all of these different controls, but effectively this roller bar here, that is your mouse. I have no idea how this works. I have no idea how to use it. I haven't plugged it in or tried it yet, but effectively from what I understand, it sits in front of your keyboard and you can type and then you can use the mouse to do whatever you want. I think that one does the lateral movement, and then you've got this one for the horizontal movement. Now, I have never seen one of these before I got hold of this. Apparently they retail for stupid amounts of money, 300 euros almost. Actually, the lateral movement might be if I take this off, actually. How does that come off? How does that come off? There we go. Oh, right, okay. So, yeah. Oh, okay, so lateral movements like that, so you can roll the mouse and move it around by doing all of that kind of stuff. But hey, yeah. Crazy, crazy, silly price. It's a well-made bit of kit. It is really solid, and it is actually really comfortable. And I'd use it just as an all wrist rest, I think. It does have specific buttons for copying and pasting. It's probably easier if I show you in there. If you can see those, copy, paste, all of that kind of good stuff. So yeah, so interesting. I'll give it a try out, but I don't think it's going to be for me. But it's a really, really interesting concept, so I just thought I'd show you guys. See what you thought of that. Just move this out of the way. See what you guys did think. What was the first place prize? I don't know. I don't actually know what they got. I think they got an Elect Plus keyboard. I think it was one of the new Cherry low profile keyboards, I think. I'd have to double check though. Yeah, thanks Keyboard Co. Yeah, it was Keyboard Co. Hey Rob, we've got Rob in the chat. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Those things are super expensive. Yeah, Wodan actually messaged me and asked me if I'd trade for one of his boards or something. We haven't come to a deal or anything, but yeah, it is mad. It's absolutely crazy. Rob says it's really nice. I've never tried it. I'm going to give it a go some point over the next few days. Oh, we've got Soran as well. Hey Soran, good to see you. There is a giveaway in a bit, yes. That's not the giveaway prize. We'll come on to that later on. Change it to a big, huge volume scroll. Yeah, I could do that, Sinja. That makes sense. That makes sense. We've also got Sashimi. Hey, Sashimi. Thanks for joining. 20-year-old design checks out. Yeah, it feels like it's a 20-year-old design, but it is really comfortable to rest on. Even if I'm not using the functions, it's a really nice wrist rest. Anarchy says it would be really cool to reverse engineer and then integrate it into a DIY board. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Yeah, that would be an interesting thought. So yeah, so interesting. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about this week before we do the build is Arctos switches. So my and Brian from Top Clack samples of these came in just yesterday. So I've got 2 different types of them. I've got 150 of the 67 grams or 65 grams and one of the other weights as well. These are really interesting. They're a pre-lubed tactile switch. So they come in really nice different blue colours. To be honest, they look just like any other switch does. They look very similar to Zeal V2s. I'll show you next to them in a second. So nice colours. Transparent housings. And they have rose gold springs in them, which you probably can't see on here, but they do have rose gold springs. That's not going to work. Is this one going to work? It's going to focus. No, it's not going to work. But they do have rose gold springs in them. They are tactile and they are pre-lubed. They are only PCB. Sorry, they're only plate mount. They're not PCB mount. There's no PCB mount pins. And I have to be honest, they are not very nice. That's my first impression of them. They're scratchy. They're horrible. If you guys can hear that. Try the other one. Yeah, these aren't great switches in my opinion at the minute. They are tactile. It's like dropping off a cliff. It's like an Utemu Ice V2 in terms of the tactility. It's just like dropping off a cliff. There's a tiny bit of pre-travel and then you just hit a cliff, and your finger just falls and disappears. It's a little bit like a box Royal in terms of its tactility. But they actually feel and sound like Royals as well, so the scratchiness that's present in Royals is present in these, even though they are factory lubed. I haven't taken them apart as yet and done any tests on them. I haven't built a board with them yet. My gut feel right now is that I'm not going to like them. I'm going to find them too scratchy, but the tactility is really nice. I think I actually prefer Utemu Skies over these, which probably tells you a lot. That being said, I have compared them to the Zelio V2s. So these are the Zelio V2s. And let me just do a little bit of a sound comparison for you on these. This is a Zelio V2 versus the same weight of the Arctos. So I don't know if you can hear that, but the Zelio V2 is actually a tiny little bit more tactile, and you can only hear the Zelio V2 on the upstroke. That's the only place there's any noise. On this, there's just scratch all the way down the press. It's the same on the return. If you keep your finger on it, you can feel the scratch all the way on the upstroke as well as the downstroke. I am a little bit disappointed in them. I will try stripping the lube off them and lubing them myself, see if I can make them better. My advice would be at the moment to just hold off, see if there's a version 2. And see how they go as well. Okay, so let's just catch up with chat, see what you guys think of the Arctos switches. WizBlue says it's basically a trackball, but trackball more ergonomical on the roller mouse. Yes, I probably agree, but I'm going to give it a try. Meliewx, I think I said, but these are plate mount only, not PCB mount. Pretty sure it's designed to use with your wrist, so you don't have to take your hands off the keyboard. It is. That's what the roller mouse is for. Yeah. Even with lube, these are factory lubed, so these are lubed with a mix of Krytox and something else. I can't remember exactly. The switches look fantastic. The rose gold springs look great. The logo is really good. I'm really impressed with their logo, and I'm really happy to send a sticker for my sticker collection. So yeah, they're just really scratchy, and I would advise you to wait for a second version. I didn't pay for those. They were sent to me for free to share with Brian, so they are a free review sample effectively. But I'm not a fan at present of them. I definitely need to try them in a board before I can give a full-on assessment. And I'll probably build a cheap 60% early in the new year with them as well. And I know Brian's got a build. I think he wants to do his Tokyo 60 with them too. So yeah, they're interesting switches. The tactility's fine. The housings look okay. They just feel scratchy as all hell, and they just need looking at, I think. Hopefully V2 will be really nice. Stock says non-PCB mount basically worthless. Pedro says sound scratchy as fuck. Yeah, they are really scratchy. Not Luke Utemu Ice, literally trash. You know your switch sounds bad when Zelios sound better. Yeah, that's possibly one way of looking at it, guys. I mean, the Zelio V2s are really, really fantastic from a tactile perspective. I was never a fan of the original Zelios from a sound perspective, but from a feel they were great. The new Zelios are really smooth, really tactile, and I haven't built a board, so I can't comment on the sound, but I'm assuming the sound hasn't changed too dramatically. Out of a build, the Zelios sound better than the Arctos, but I would much prefer a Holy Panda or some other tactile switch for sound than the V2s. But again, I've not built a board. I need to build a board and try them out properly. It's supposed to be Meliewx lube, right? I think it's Krytox 1 of 5, I think they use, and a mix of something else. It is on their site. I haven't looked at it today, but it is on the site, Wiz, if you want to have a look. So bad lube, it could be bad lube. I don't know. I think it is a mix and not just pure Krytox, which is how I would normally lube switches. We've got Xander as well, Xander TV. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Meliewx lube is good. Yeah. Using lube mixes. Well, hey, it's their choice. It's what they want to do. It's how they designed their switch. It's just one of those things. It's one of those things. Anyway, it is time for us to carry on with the build. We're going to do a little bit of the prep for the build first. So we're going to have a look at our stabilisers, show you what switches we're using. Then we'll have a look at the giveaway and we'll start to talk about the giveaway, and then we'll carry on with the build. Xander, yes, it is the last episode on this channel. After this, I'm taking a little break for Christmas. I've got a few weeks off work, and I just wanted to take the time to spend with my family and friends. Once that's over and done with, I will be joining Top Clack, so I'll be the new co-host with Quakeham's Brian on Top Clack, which will be every Thursday, and my build streams will continue on Sunday nights nearly every week in 2019. I should have, I'll probably easily have 50 builds next year. And those will carry on in this slot, same time as they always have, between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, that type of thing in the UK. So whatever time it is for you around the world, 9ish in Europe, and I think 3ish on the East Coast, and 12 noonish on the West Coast. But yeah, so this is the last episode on this channel. After this episode, then we're straight over to Top Clack, and that's where all of the builds going forward will be. So there we go. So just to talk about what we're going to build today in the white TX65, we'll unbox it in a second. We're going to be using a full screw-in set of GMK stabs provided by Fax. If you guys don't know Fax, Fax360 on Reddit, and he's on Discord as well, all sorts of other places. He might even be watching, I don't know if you are there. Hi Fax. Fax is my go-to guy for GMK screw-in stabilisers. That's what we're going to be building the board with today. The switches, these were lubed by Max West Foxtrot, the guy who ran the ANSI group buy directly for Mel, and Mel sent me over these switches and asked me to use them in her build rather than doing them myself, which is fair enough. She's had switches from Max before. She really likes these switches. She likes the way he lubes them, and she's really happy with them. So these are retooled blacks, so just standard retooled blacks. They have been lubed with Krytox 106 on the housing and the stem, and Krytox 104 on the spring. They have been spring swapped with Sprit MX62 springs, so these are 62 grams in weight, so they're quite a light switch for me. I'd prefer a little bit heavier personally, but they are ultra smooth. Max has done a great job, and then I think we've got a 78 gram switch for the space, if I remember correctly from what Mel told me. So that's what we're going to be building the board with. I'm just going to pop them out of the way. Fax is awesome, and yeah, Brian does look lonely. He needs someone there to keep him going and to wind him up a little bit, so we're going to be doing all of that. But Fax is great for stabs, guys. If you need clip-in stabs, you want screw-in stabs, if you want plate mount stabs, if you want PCB mount stabs, anything to do with GMK or Cherry stabs, Fax is the man. Holy Pandas are great. Max is a big old man. Max is a lovely guy. He's one of the best guys in the keyboard community, if I'm honest. I absolutely adore him. And I hope he's watching today, and if he is, hey man, good to see you, dude. So we're going to be building the white TX65. We're going to clip and lube these stabilisers with some dielectric grease, as always. So we're going to be doing that. I've got my lube brush and my clippers, so we'll talk through that in a second. What I want to do first of all though, guys, is just show you the board and just show you how nice this white TX65 is. So the first thing you'll notice when you open this bag, these bags from Kin, by the way, these are absolutely rock solid. These are really, really good. If you ever get a chance to get one, please do take that opportunity. So the minute you open it, you see there's the PCB. This is a standard Liku PCB that Kin uses for all of his builds. This is the L3 Finger 65 PCB. Yeah, so 23rd of the 11th, 17 is the manufacture date, so it's a couple of years old, or a year old, and that's the board we'll be building today. And then directly under that, you'll see that we've got this standard TX keyboards, nice soft cloth. It comes with all of these boards in all of these boxes, and it's really worth doing. And then just underneath here, we have got the white and brass TX65. So as you can see, the board is absolutely stunning. It really is a bright, vivid white. Trying not to make too much of a mark on it. So the board is unscrewed, so I'm trying to be careful with it. As you can see, the white is really crisp white. It's an absolutely lovely colour. The brass is stunning. The plate could be a little bit better in terms of its design. Now it is going to be an ISO build. Mel does want ISO on this board, so there we go. But it's absolutely stunning. You're going to have to excuse fingerprints on the bottom. There will be some fingerprints on the base, but as you can see, even on the logo, I don't know if you guys can see that. It might be better up here actually. There you go, you can see that the TX65 logo is nicely ingrained there. Now this is powder coating apparently, but it doesn't feel or look like any powder coating I've ever tried. It has got a slightly satin texture to it. It's not shiny like anode is, and it's not matte. Yeah, it's sad about the bottom row, but it's just one of those things. But the board itself is absolutely lovely. There's no blemishes on the outside. There's a couple of marks just on the inside that I've noticed of the case, but that's not going to be there when it's built. Yes, Quodanka has ported the TXCP, and we're going to be doing my my TX1800 V2. We're going to be putting that to QMK on stream in the new year as well. So this is the board we're going to build today. As you can see, it looks absolutely stunning. It's such a clean looking board. It is sandwich mount, so you can see there. This is how the board mounts. The plate sits into the base by about 1.5 millimeters, 2 millimeters, and then the PCB hangs underneath that into the tray. So, I need the plate, but I'm going to move this out of the way. Let's just catch up with chat, see what you guys are talking about. Oof, says Rope. Yeah, it looks amazing, doesn't it? These boards are absolutely stunning. This white is something else. I mean, it's not even picking the blemishes up on the camera very well, I don't think. But there's a couple of slight marks on it. But it's so nice. It's just so nice and clean. The side profile is lovely as well. So yeah. Okay, let's just catch up with chat, see what we're talking about. Yes, Darth, he's put the TXCP and he's going to help me with my TX1800. Stock says the TX65 is sick. It's not poorly, man, it's alright. Not as bad as a single plate. No, it's not as bad as a single plate. There are other plates that are worse than this. I think this is okay. If I was going to do the plate myself, I'd probably have more of a fixed layout on it, either ANSI or ISO, depending on what you're building for. So yeah. WizBlue says you put with a CP PCB to QMK. I think you've got a bit of a job on your hands here, Quid. I think loads of people are going to want that. Point W0 says I want one, like right now. Fair. Yeah, I want one as well. I'm sad this isn't mine. Sitting on a TXCP shows how solid Kin's boards are. Yeah, you could sit on this one as well. It's really solid. Hefty as well, really heavy. I did weigh this the other day and it weighs 4 kilograms when it's got everything with it. So yeah. Please build it with ANSI, or at least build it without the little extra key on ISO. So, well, it will be built the same layout as this board, which has got the little key. Probably just see it under there, the little shift key, and the ISO enter. That's how the person who owns the board wants it. So Mel wants it to be fully ISO, and basically this layout, although this bit area will be slightly different. So it'll be 1.25, 1.25, 1.25, 6.25 space, 2 1.5U keys, and then the arrow keys, and that's how the bottom's gonna go. 4 kilograms, what the fuck? Yeah, it's really heavy, really heavy. I can't tell you how heavy it is apart from telling you the weight. It's just super duper heavy. It's a lot heavier than this. It's almost twice as heavy as what the as what the Noxtry 268 AG is. Yeah. So cool, yeah. Okay, so we're going to crack on with the build, guys. The first thing to do is to move this back into its case so I don't damage it. Get the PCB ready. Last thing I want to do is mark this lovely white coating. So there we go, that's all tucked away. And then what we're going to do is just have a look at the PCB. Now this has all been tested. The PCB does work, every key works, everything's looking good from that perspective. In fact, we'll put this down. And the first thing to do on these PCBs is just make sure we move the rails, so the top and bottom rail here and there, they just need to be snapped off, and that's literally just so that we can carry on with the build, otherwise it won't fit. So they do have little perforations that you can see just there. Now it's always a bit nerve-wracking snapping the first one, but once you get going and you get up ahead of steam, it's pretty easy to do. You ain't going to damage the board. It's what they're designed for. They're designed to be removed. So that comes off. And then we're just going to do the one on the other side as well. And this one is usually a little bit tougher because it's connected all the way down. There we go. All broken off nicely. So there we go. We can see the PCB, guys. Standard Liku PCB. Does have full underglow. It's the Finger 65 L3. It is a it's a 32A, so it is QMK compatible if we wanted to port it. There we go. And then you can see that's how the plate sits on the PCB. And then if we just flip that over, you'll see that there's plenty of space around the plate of the PCB, which is where it rests on the board for the sandwich mount, and then the PCB effectively hovers. So the first thing we're going to do before we go any further is we are going to clip and lube our stabilisers. We're going to take the stabilisers, I'll show you how to clip and lube them, and then we'll put them into the board. So for this build we're going to need one for the backspace, we're going to need one for the enter. I haven't checked with Mel how she wants to do the right shift yet, so we may need one for that or we may not, just waiting for her to come back to me on that. And then we need one for the space bar, so we need at least 3 or 4 stabilizers. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to take the small slider. We're going to clip the 2 thinnest legs, which you can see nice and clearly up against my hand in the picture there. Those 2 thin legs, they're what we're going to take off of this. I'm not sure if it'll show this way. Let's see if we can get it to show. There we go. So the 2 legs, this side here, this corner, and then this corner as well. Those are the ones we're going to clip off. Just going to clip these now. The aim here is to try and get the base completely flush. So there you go, you can see that they've been clipped away. Hey, 159 man, thanks for the bits. Thank you for the bits, dude. He made it. Woo, I made it. Thanks, man. Glad to see you here. That's one done. So that's one that goes with the housing. And we're just going to quickly go through and clip all of these. And put them with housing. So that's one stabilizer done. I'll put some screws there with that as well. Need those 2 to clip. Potentially we need up to 3 stabilizers, so we're just going to get all of the parts ready for that now. Another 2 to clip, and then we need 1 for the space bar as well. So we need to clip those. And there. Okay, let's get rid of all of these spare parts that we don't need. And then we can carry on with the build. As I say, these stabilizers did come from Fax, or Fax360 on Reddit. He is the stabilizer guru. If you need him, he knows what he's getting. He can always sort you out and help you out. And he's a very good friend of mine as well. Let's just catch up with chat while I'm doing this. Oh, Chesteroni, thank you very much for the follow, man. I appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that. Let's just catch up. I think I've missed a fair bit of chat, actually. I have a box CP with the CP PCB. Oh, Tesseract is following as well. Thanks, man. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that, dude. I'd actually really like to get hold of a box CP if I could at some point. That's one board I would really like. So if you ever want to sell, just let me. What else have we been talking about in chat? I thought the TX60 was rather light, to be honest. No, the TX60 is a solid build. It's really heavy as a TX60 for the size of the board, if I'm honest. My keyboard are getting new stocks next week. Nice. That's always good to see. Sandpaper after the snap. You don't really need to. You could do if you wanted. You could sand down the edges of the PCB if you really wanted to. I've never found a need or a rationale to do that, but yeah, you could do absolutely. On this one, there's so much space around the sandwich mount that the PCB is not going to catch on anything anyway. Just clip the rest of these. Okay. Do you think a cheap iron is fine to solder? So the thing that I would recommend with soldering irons is buy a cheap one to begin with, but make sure it's got temperature control. If you burn through that iron because you're soldering a lot, then buy a really good one for your second tool. That's always the best way to buy and use tools, in my opinion. Whether it's soldering irons or drills or anything really. Buy a relatively cheap one that's got most of the features that the big ones have. Try it out for a little bit. If you burn through it or you find that you're using it a lot, then you can upgrade your tool later on. Wiz just joined the Unistore group buy, and he's psyched to try out the 203 G00. Yeah, nice. That'd be a nice thick lube. Yeah. Just only says, hey man, good to see you, dude. Yeah, Wiz, that's a good point actually. Good solder is better than bad solder. It's always worthwhile doing for that. Okay, met him at Mechanicon. Fax is just awesome. Yeah, he's such a good guy. He's such a really good guy. Always willing to help people out. Are you planning on selling it? Oh, now Wiz, now you're telling me. Now you're telling me. I might ping you on later on about that, but it'll depend on when you need the money and when you won't, because I've got a few other boards coming, so we'll have to have a look at that. Okay, that's these all clips. What we're going to do now is start to put these together. So the way these go together is you take the housing. You've got the front side, which you can see just to the right, which has got the little clip where the cable goes into it. So where the wire goes into it. We're going to take the insert, and on one side it's got two holes. You can see that there. The two holes go, so they're facing through where the clip side is, just like so. We're then going to take the wire, push it into the bottom hole, and clip it into the front, so that it then moves up and down when you move it, just like that. We're going to quickly do that for all of the stabilisers, and then from there we're going to start lubing. Box CP looks gorgeous. Yeah, it does. I'm hoping he got that really nice antique finish on it. I'm very impressed if he does. Okay. What price range would you consider good for soldering iron, JT Jet? To be honest, the soldering iron I'd recommend the most is the TS100, which is soldering iron I use. It's really quick to heat up, it's really easy to look after, easy to change the tips on. It's just a really good soldering iron. You can even put custom firmware on there as well. I think it was 60 British pounds, so it's about $75, but it might be cheaper in the States than it is in the UK anyway. Antique red grey. Oh man, that sounds good. I'm going to message you after this, Wiz, because if you can wait till the new year, I might absolutely take that off of you. Buying good tools once is better than buying bad tools twice. Yeah, I would always recommend that you buy a mediocre tool to begin with, and then if you use the shit out of it and you destroy it, or you use it an awful lot and you really want something better, then upgrade. I'd rather have medium priced mediocre tools that I use infrequently, and then my top used tools to be really nice expensive ones that are worth the value for money, than do it the other way around. But that's just my personal preference. Okay. What else are we talking about? Darth What's His Face is just about half a cup of amalgamation of pork roast juices and black beer. The temptation's immense. Get that on some bread, man, and get that eaten. Oh, and Pokemon Kid bought his an hour ago. It's £60 for one tip or £70 for two tips with the iron. Yeah, there you go. TS100 is a great iron. Yeah, I think I've done about 45 boards with that one and it's been fine, as well as some bits and pieces on a couple of cars as well. Indicator lights mainly recently. It's been okay. So now we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of lube. So this is dielectric grease, available at any good car parts store. Multi-purpose grease. It's really, really good stuff. We'll squeeze some into the lid. And then what we're going to do is just quickly lube all of these stabilizers. So we're going to take a brush, dip it in, have a thin coating on the brush. You don't want much, you just want a really thin coating on the brush. We're going to take the stabilizer, we're going to pull the slider out of the housing. We're going to brush on one side of it, a really thin layer, make sure it just coats it. We're going to turn that over, brush the other side. Make sure it's got a really thin layer, make sure it's all covered. We're then going to use what's left on the brush just to cover around here on the corner where the metal touches the plastic. We're then going to dip our brush back in, get a nice ball amount on the end of the tip, and then we're going to go into the back where the wire pokes out, and we're just going to rotate that round. We're going to put the stem in the bottom. We're going to take a rice grain sized amount, and we're going to just wipe that across the bottom of the stabilizer, just like so. Now you should have enough lube left on your stabilizer to just do the sides again, so just quickly do the sides on the next one. And on that side as well, get a nice even coating. Just touch the front of the wire, that'll stop any squeak or rattle. Oops. And then what we're going to do is just take another little dip, put it in the back, wiggle that around, and then a rice grain size piece just on the underside. Then we're going to replicate that for the rest of the stabilizers and make sure it's all nicely done. My music seems to have stopped, but the fire's still making a noise, so I assume that's just the YouTube channel. Oh, it seems to be freezing. Sorry about that, guys. There we go, it started up again now. Or maybe not. Maybe not. If it keeps being like this, I'll just turn it off. Joe, I'm going to turn it off. Guys, we don't need the music. We can cope without the music. Let's get that turned off. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to just quickly finish off this stabilizer, and then I'll just catch up back with chat, see what you guys are talking about. One of the big things I'm going to have to get used to on Top Clack is not being able to catch every message on chat, which I do now, or try to do now. So yeah, so we'll see how that gets. Okay, just lubing the sides on this one, and then the front rail. In fact, we didn't do the front rail on the last one. Just going to do that now. There we go. Quickly blast through lubing all of these. And then once these are all lubed, catch up with chat, and then we'll proceed with the build, get some switches in that plate, get the stabilizers in the board where we think they're going to go, adjust them as necessary, and then go from there. Okay, so we just got the spacebar one left to do now. Lubing one side, lubing the other, lubing the wire into the back, do the underneath, and then move on to the last side. Okay, we're almost there. Try and keep an even amount on, guys, and it's not about how much you put on here, it's just about how You can put too much on, so just be careful. It's always easier to add more later on if you're not sure. So just put a thin layer on and then add more later if you need to. Okay, so that's the lubing done, so we're going to move that out of the way. Okay, let's catch up with chat and see what you guys have been talking about. So, bread is for cowards. Okay, just drink it then. Go for it. I've been working on something awesome, but my stupid ass decided that instead of using it myself, I use it as Secret Santa gift, so now I cannot brag. Oh well. At least you're giving away and doing something good, guys. At least you're doing that. Let me have a look at this TX65. Fabio Rock, thank you very much for the follow, dude. I do appreciate that. I'm just having a look at his TX. Oh, dude. Oh, man. Right, okay, I'm going to message you because I need to have a chat with you about that because that looks absolutely stunning, dude. It looks absolutely amazing. Here it is with Red Samurai. Oh, man. Wiz, yeah, I need to message you about that. Yeah, I do need to message you about that. The fire is freezing. Yeah, I've turned it off, Matt. It's not worth having on. Yeah, we don't need the music. We don't need the music. In fact, I could put the music back on and do it off the desktop. Let me do that. Let me put the music back on off the desktop. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. Let me know, guys, if that's too loud. That might, because that's playing from the speaker, that might be too loud rather than coming off the TV. I can turn it down. What does shoeless mean? Sorry, Angry Valhalla, I don't know what you mean by that. What's my favourite layout? Personally, my favourite layout is 65 with blocker, with a little blocker there. That's my favourite layout. Is it 5 to 9 or 5 to 10 right now for me? It is 5 to 9, Gio. It's 5 to 9 p.m. In 5 minutes it will be 9 p.m. Okay, so now we've got the stabilisers ready, we can put some of them into position. We know, for example, where the backspace one's going to go. It's going to sit just up here. So we can put that in. I think that music's going to be a touch loud. Let me just turn that down. There we go. Okay, so we know that one's in. That one's all working there. Then we're going to take the next one. This is going to be for the ISO enter. We know where that needs to go. It needs to sit just here. Mel hasn't come back to me yet, so I'm going to assume she wants a full right shift. So we'll pop this one in as well. There we go. In fact, actually, she won't want a full right shift because she'll be wanting arrows. So I know she won't want it actually. She won't want a full right shift, so I'm talking rubbish there. And then we want the space bar as well. Now what we want to make sure of is that we can put the 3 switches in here and then have the space bar from a 1.25 perspective. So what I'm going to do is just lay it over this board here, and then I can see that from that perspective my stabilizers need to go just here and just there. That makes sure that those are in the right place. And it would help if I've got them turned the right way around. Yeah, that still seemed a little bit too loud. Let me turn this down, guys. Let me just turn this down a touch. There we go. How's that? How's that? Okay, so yeah, these are Fax stabs. James, these are from Fax. So now we're going to screw these in. These are Fax's new Torx screws. Oh no, they're not. These aren't Torx, I think. Or have I got a mix? I have a mix. Let's use Torx screws. Let's just get the rest out here, and then we'll just make sure we're using the Torx screws. And then I'm just going to grab a Torx bit for these. I think that's the right size. That's the right size. I'm just going to screw these in. Now remember, guys, when you're screwing these in, you don't want to go too tight. You're not trying to tighten it into the PCB. All you're just trying to do is hold it in place. So you don't want to screw so much that you are crushing the PCB. All you want to do is make sure it sits flush and that it's nicely set in there. So there we go. So you just want it to look like that. You don't want to be over tightening, you don't want to be bending the PCB, you don't want it to be grinding as you screw it in, anything like that. Just keep it nice and light. The TX65 weighs nearly 4 kilograms. Fully built it will do, yes, with the PCB plate and all the keycaps and the switches and everything else. Yes, it was close. When I put it all on the scales, it was close to, I think it was just under 4 kilograms. I think it was like 3.98 or something like that. Unless I measured it wrong. Okay, so we're just going to put the second one in there. Okay, so that's that stabiliser done. I'm going to grab another Torx bit. Oops. And then we're going to do the ISO enter. Going to tighten that down nicely. Now these screws aren't magnetic, so although the bit holder is magnetic, it's not going to hold them in place. Okay, so that's nicely tightened up. Now we're just going to move on to the space bar. Okay, let's catch up with chat. Christmas music somehow works really well during December. Yeah, funny that. Wonder if it's because Christmas is there. No, but I agree. Stop saying Top Clack is at 3 AM, then it's 2 AM. Well, so it's going to be over 3 AM. That's how I look at it in my head, Gio. The reason why I look at it that way is because at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm still going to be on Top Clack. So it starts at 2 AM, probably finishes at 3:30, 4 o'clock, depending on how long the stream goes. Okay. So yeah, so 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's that kind of thing. Doesn't matter what you use because it'll never be disassembled anyway. No, that's true, but I just like to use these as well. Big Aaron's still not in the Christmas spirit. Yeah, I kind of get that as well. I wasn't until we ordered all of our Christmas food shopping the other day. That made it. Yeah, you're going to hit 4 AM often. Yeah. We got to give it the right start time. Well, okay, the start time is 2 o'clock in the morning for anyone in the UK. So anyone in the UK isn't going to watch me live, let's be honest. They're going to be watching the VOD. I think that's probably the easy way to say it, yeah? Just going to take this jump off because it's getting really warm in here under the lights. Okay, so that's the stabilisers put in. We're going to pop the plate over the top and have a look at how that rests. That all looks nice and neat and tidy. Let's just pop these back in the bag one more time. Andy says, I think I'll just wake up at 2 and then go back to bed. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'll be doing to actually present the show. I'll be getting up at probably 1:30, get a coffee, and then go from there. Hey, we've got Stotty Boy as well. Stotty Boy is actually a local lad to me, guys. He lives about 10 minutes away from here. So yeah. Just pop these back in this bag so I don't lose any of them. Fact has taken to sending me double screws lately, which is really nice of him. There we go. Excellent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these switches, we're going to start to put together the layout for the bottom row. What I'll probably do is grab some caps, some keycaps, and we'll just use some keycaps to help us put those in. But we know that we're going to be using the normal backspace. And these are PCB mount switches as well, so you can see on the bottoms there, if I catch it in the light right, we've got the PCB mount bottoms. So these should all hold together nicely. There we go. I'm just making sure they're clipped into the plate, lifting the plate off of the PCB and holding into the PCB as well. Once I've got a few switches in dotted around the board, we can then start to fill in all of the gaps. I'm just making sure that it's all nicely aligned. So these are south facing switches as well, which is quite nice. Most boards have south facing switches these days, but this is really nice. To build it this way, it means you have less problems if you put in-switch LEDs in. Mel doesn't want in-switch LEDs at this moment in time in this board, which is probably the right decision, given that the white is so vivid. I think LEDs would detract from that, would be my view. So I completely agree with her decision to not use LEDs in this build. Just making sure all of the switches are flush with the plate and flush with the PCB as well. The other good reason to use PCB mount switches is it means that when you're doing switches such as here, you're not going to get twisted switches and twisted keycaps when you've finished putting them all together. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just going to start to go row by row, fill in the gaps, making sure we've got all of the build nicely aligned. And then once we've got these all in place, we'll look at the bottom row and make sure it fits Mel's designated layout. And I believe she's going to put GMK Taro keycaps on this as well. So yeah, so we'll see. Hey Pooch Sag, good to see you, dude. Oh, my advice, guys, just destroyed a Secret Santa project. What have you done, dude? And what is the project? Tell us what the project is. We want to know. And I'm sure you can fix it. If you can make it in the first place, you can fix it. I believe in you, dude, and I'm sure you'll be just fine. Speaking of which, both my Secret Santa presents for my private server title, you can chase me on that. I know you're our Secret Santa guru this year. Will be going out this week. It's finally left customs. And the MK UK one map, my Secret Santa receiver, will be getting their gift this week as well. That should be going out Monday or Tuesday, so no one needs to chase me on those. Okay, so as you can see, now we've put a few in, we can quite easily just clip these in and push them into the plate as well. Push them into the plate and the PCB all at once. So there you go, you can see that row there is nice and flush. The PCB is flush with the switches, and the plate is flush with the switches as well. Okay, move on to the second row, and we'll do the same from here. We'll double check once we've done this that we've not got any keys that have got bent pins or anything like that, and then we'll get on with soldering. Going to buy a HHKB Pro 2 on Amazon so I can start to mod keyboards without soldering. Yeah, that's a good idea, man. I'm not a fan of Topa myself, but if you like it, that's good. You know, go for it, dude. Go for it. I mean, I like the tactility of it. I just couldn't type on it for any length of time, but that's a personal thing. Poochseg says, Jacobs, what are your impressions on how durable that white finish could be? I'm a little scared it may not hold up, but haven't had an issue as yet. If it's powder coat, which Kin tells me it is when I've been speaking to him, then it should be pretty robust. Now, you are right that it doesn't feel like normal powder coat, and it does feel a little bit, it's more of a satin finish, so it's not quite smooth like anodization would be, or gloss paint, for example, but it's not quite the same finish as what you would get with normal powder coating either. It's kind of somewhere in between, so I definitely call it a satin finish. I think it could be quite weak to sharp objects. I think it will be weaker than anodization, but I think it'll be tougher than Mao, for example. I think Mao is probably the softest finish I've seen on any keyboard. So there you go. My advice guy says, at least I have the version of Marlin where I feel safe running while I sleep. Hey, Lost on Earth now is following. Thanks, man. Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it, dude. Really appreciate it, man. At least I have a version of Marlin where I feel safe with it running while I sleep. I don't know what you're even talking about, man, but hey, if you think you can rescue the project, that is all good. Gio says, I still haven't got to my printer again. It was supposed to be yesterday with a friend and he got strep throat, so it didn't come. Oh, are you 3D printing something, Meta Advice Guy? Is that what you're doing? Ah, I see. That makes more sense now. My 3D printer has been, well, not used for nearly 3 weeks now. I need to find a project to do it. I have to make it all tomorrow so I can ship it off Tuesday, so I'll be travelling to Scotland on Wednesday. Oh yes, it's the Scotland meetup this weekend coming. Sadly, it doesn't look like I'm going to be going as much as I want to. So Mel wants step caps, by the way, so we're going to put step caps here. So yeah, so I'm really sad that I can't make it to the Scotland meetup, because I was hoping to see my advice guy Stocks, who's running the meetup, and a few others again, including Fax. Fax is going to be there, guys, if you are able to go and attend. So yeah, It's like gloss ceramic coat. Ceramic coating is really, really tough stuff. Even anodization isn't like ceramic coating. That is really tough. You know, proper ceramic coating in an industrial setting, you're absolutely going to struggle to damage. Anything short of diamond is going to come up short, in my experience. Thanks for your no problems, Poochsag, no problems at all. Which whiteboard have you got, dude? You have to tell me which one you've got, and send me pictures as well. Send me pictures. I always love to see them. Yeah, Marin, I got that once I realised it was 3D printing stuff. I realised it was this 3D printing firmware. I've never used Marlin myself, but yeah, I did realise that. Oh, is it? Oh, maybe it is running on my Ender 3 then, and I just don't know. But I had seen it before. Anybody bought GSUs these days, or Jesus switches these days? Personally, no. I am going to get on the Massdrop Holy Panda group buy with some EU friends of mine. Hey, Dorian, thank you very much for the follow, man. I really appreciate that, dude. Really appreciate it, man. I'm going to be getting on the Massdrop Holy Panda group buy with Querdenker and Egler and a few others from the EU. I think that they're a really good price, especially if you buy 330 of them, 85 cents a piece plus a bit of shipping. And if they are, and they do stand up to the original hype and the original switches, which I've got in my canoe, which is there, and one of the other boards over here, I can't remember which one, then I will absolutely be really happy with them. I am getting some samples with Brian, so from a Top Clack perspective, we should have some samples of the Massdrop Holy Pandas in the next couple of weeks. Brian's already got some Jesus switches. He's sending me some in the next couple of weeks as well. I will be making some Jesus Pandas with them. Holy Jesus switches with them. And we'll be doing a build with those in the new year. Quite possibly a Zephyr. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. JT Jet, thank you very much for the follow, dude. I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate all the follows and everything else that you guys do. My advice, guys, printer's been running non-stop since he got it. Scotland piss up. Hey, yeah, but that makes me even want to be there more stocked. I really want to be there. I'll have another chat with the wife, see what she says. I wanted to IRL shitpost with stocks, but can't. Also, Jay, not the only one missing out. Ah, man. You live around the corner, you could have come up with me, you could have jumped in the car. And you could have bought all my drinks from me. Okay, so we are going to go 1.25 switches here along this bottom row. I am going to put some caps on to check these before I solder it, but I think I know where these are going. I think that's where they want to be. Let's get some caps on here. In fact, you know what? We are going to put on the white TX. We're going to put DSA Alchemy on here anyway. So let's put the right caps on here for now. Now, the only problem I will have is when it comes to it, I'm not going to have the rightmost mods for this because it didn't come with any 1.5U mods in the base kit. So we can see those are all in the right place there. Then we're going to grab a spacebar, 6.25U in this case. Okay, so that's going to sit here. I'm just going to grab the specific space switch that we're using. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop this into the spacebar. It wants to go that way around. And then what we're going to do is push that into place using the spacebar itself and the stabilisers to make sure everything is aligned. And there you go, guys. You can see how that sits on the plate there. Now then we know we've got 1.5U to go here. Now I don't think this has any 1.5U mods in the kit. So what I'm going to do is, if I can find something that's 1.5U, the tab key is 1.5, so I'm going to use the tab key to get these spaced out correctly. That's one in. See if we can take this off without pulling the switch out. There we go. And then if that sits like so, I think that wants to be there. Let's check that. Yeah, that looks like we're broadly in the right space. Yep. Okay, so they're all aligned there. We can then pop our switches in for just over here. See what's going on with chat. White TX65, nice. Thanks man for showing that. I'll have a look at the picture later on. I will save that and have a look. If we ever fancy parting with that Alice, let you know. 159. Yes, the Alice, you can probably just see it here. It's the pink Alice, and it's running GMK Stormtrooper on there right now. Wizblue would love to go to a bigger meetup, but he's quite isolated down in northern Sweden. Yeah, man, you should come try and get over to one of the UK ones next year or something like that. I'd love to meet you, man. I'd love to meet you. Everyone's nutting over that white TX65. You'll see one on stream next week because Querdenk is going to build one, and I'll try and be there with him. My advice guy and I have been working on 3D printed jailhouse spaces. Would you be interested in printing some, as you said you're looking for a 3D printed project, maybe in the new year after joining Clack? Andy, if you send me over the files, I'll definitely print them off and I'll try and do a build with them. Absolutely, that sounds really good. Yeah, I need to do something with the printer because it's sat there doing nothing. Gio says it's tempting for making wood cases is the CNC 3D printer. Oh yeah, I've seen the attachments you can get for those. They do look really good. I'd like to try that out at some point. And polycarb is your voice. Polycarb is so hard to CNC mill stocks. It is not something you want to do on one at home. I've tried milling it on my proper 3D, my proper CNC machine, and it's really flexible, so you have to go really slow, otherwise the flex changes where your cutting path is. I just don't like it at all to work with as a material, but I love the end result, so yeah. Yeah, send them over then, Andy. That would be really good. I would love to try building that, or try and use that for a build. So just popping the arrow keys in here now, guys, as you can see. Okay, one more to go. For the arrow keys, bump pin. There we go, fixed. Okay, so that's our arrow keys, and then now we do have the shift, so we're just going to make sure we align this into the right spot. So the shift is going to sit just like that there. Nice. Use this now to just adjust it, make sure it's nice and level, make sure it's nice and square, so we're not getting a shift key that's off center or twisted. Sometimes you can get shift keys that look a little bit like that, so we're just going to make sure it is nice and straight before we solder it. I'm happy with that. Cool, great. Okay guys, so that's all of our MX Blacks put into the plate in the PCB. Everything is nice and flush. You can see from the front angle here, everything sits flush with the PCB and the plate. Same on the side, we're looking all good. All the same down the back, everything is nice and flush. And then just on this side as well, you can see there that we're all looking great and gravy as well. Yeah, so there we go. That's everything ready to be soldered. The switches are all nice and straight. There's nothing that's not going to be straight across here either. Everything is nicely held in place. These are PCB mount switches, so we're all good from that perspective. Let's move the spares out of the way. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, get him to send them over. Thanks, man. I will definitely check that out. These switches have already been lubed. Sorry, is that Fabri-Rock? Yeah. These have already been lubed, dude. So these are lubed with Krytox 106 on the stem and the housing, and then they're lubed with Krytox 104 on the spring. So there we go. These have already lubed, and they're going to sound great in a brass plate. So there we go. That's everything done from that perspective. What we're going to do now is crack on with the soldering. So I'm just going to get ready and set up to do that. So I'm going to take my soldering iron, get that nice and warm. As always, guys, using Kester solder. So this is 6040 Kester solder, leaded solder. Just before we do that, what I'm going to do now, as that's heating up, is I'm just going to check all down the pins, make sure that we've got no bent pins, no missing pins. Just checking each switch that I can see 2 pins for each of them, making sure they're all nicely aligned, none are missing, everything looks nice and square. It's better to do this now than to do it later on and realise that something's not worked quite right and have to desolder the board. So there we go. Soldering irons at 298, so just under 300 degrees. I'm getting notifications left, right and centre on Discord, so I think that's my advice, guys, sending me all of those files. Oh yes, Wiz, yes, the giveaway, yes, sorry, I am going to talk about the giveaway, sorry, yes. So I'll come back to the solder in a second. Yes, thank you very much for reminding me, WizBlue. So what I wanted to do is, as I've always tried to do with every bit of this stream, is anytime I've got a donation, anytime I've got a subscription, anytime someone's donated bits or just any type of funding whatsoever to the channel, what I've always wanted to do is, rather than try and profit from that, is to put it back into the channel, give back to you guys, and that's why I've done all of the giveaways I've been able to do. So the keyboard 67 that we gave away a couple of weeks ago, that Nebulant one, that was all funded from all of your guys' bits and donations and everything else. After doing all of that, there was a little bit of cash left over, and just for this last stream I wanted to do a giveaway. Now, I'm not going to announce what the prize is until after I've given it away. It's worth a few quid, it's not massively expensive, it's something fun, it's keyboard related, and whoever wins, you know, doesn't have to pay shipping or anything like that. You guys can just get in touch with me afterwards, and we'll arrange all of that as well. So I'm not going to show you what it is beforehand, guys, but it is something keyboard related and fun, and I think it's worth about £40 or $50, something like that, I think, in the grand scheme of things. So it's not massively expensive, but it just uses the last of the funds that I've got available from all of your guys' subscriptions, and bits and pieces like that. So let me just grab up Nightbot, and we'll do the giveaway pretty much straight away. The only thing I have to remind you guys that you do have to be in chat, and you do have to have been using the chat in the last 5 minutes. So guys, if you don't want to type any words or anything like that, just put a couple of letters and hit enter, get yourselves entered. So at the minute we've got 3 eligible users, so the last few people to post. So guys, just keep posting in the chat and it will get you eligible. If you are a subscriber already, you do get a little bit of extra luck. So a subscriber is 2 times more likely to win the giveaway. Just you get an extra shot for being 2 entries effectively for being there. Yeah, just put some letters in there. So I think we've got 14 eligible users at the minute. There's 57 viewers, guys. 57 of you. Come on, guys, just put something in there. Tesseract was lurking. Kin OZ is going to win. Glovecap says good luck. Stock says dib dab. Aaron says it's rigged already. A couple of people wondering what it is. You don't have to chuck bits in. Bits aren't in counting on this one. It's just subscribers and people who are watching. 21 eligible users right now. Keep posting, guys. Come on, get your posting. Holy Pandas thinks dogs should be able to vote. My dog's actually hard and fast asleep because we've been out all day. So how do you enter? You just need to put some text in the chat. If you're putting some text in the chat, you are getting yourself into an entry position. If you are subscribed as well, you do get an extra entry. So I can see a few of you are subscribed. So I think Anarchy, you get an extra one because you're subscribed. Holy Pandas aren't great, you do as well. Querdenker, Meliewx, Jamos, Mr. Evil Genius. Mr. Evil Genius himself, he's here. I didn't see you, sorry, but hello. Good to see you again, man. So 27 eligible users, but we've got 57 viewers, guys. There's 30 of you that aren't playing ball here. Oh, Fabio Rock just subscribed with a tier 1 sub. That is showing up straight away. I can confirm that that's there. Thank you very much for the sub, dude. Thank you very much for that. 159 as well with the sub. Thank you, dude. Appreciate your sub as well, man. You guys are showing up as you've got the extra chance already. That comes up straight away in the bot. Chris Beswick is there with saying cash money, sub rigging. Hey, it's just a little bit of extra luck. People don't have to sub if they don't want. You still got a chance. Just already says more text equals better chances. Sound logic. Sounds fair to me. 30 eligible users, guys. There's 30 of you in there. I'm going to give it another 30 seconds, then I'm just going to run it. Let me out that prize. Says stocks. Cool prize. Well, I'll show you guys what the prize is after we've run it. But it is worth a few dollars. It's not anything dead cheap or that someone won't want. It's a reasonable prize, I think. 159 says get him. Money with wings. Woo, play to win. Well, not really. There's not that many subscribers, don't worry. Rigged as fuck. Yeah, well, maybe. Alright, there's 30 eligible users, so there's 27 of you, 29 of you, sorry, there's 59 viewers now, there's 29 of you that aren't included. So we're going to do a countdown, so we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, roll. And Dorothy Sweet, there you go, Dorothy, you are the winner. Dorothy has won the giveaway. I'm going to exit this before I start coming up with other people saying stuff. So there we go. So Dorothy Sweet, thank you very much for that. Tesseract subscribed with a sub as well, tier 1 sub, thank you very much for that. Is it a hot date with Jay? That would be the best prize ever. No, it's not. 29 confirmed bots. Yeah, well, 29 eligible users, there you go. I can't keep up with everything that's going on, but yeah, Dorothy Sweet, you have won, so thank you very much for that. Well, you've won today, so there we go. Let me just get rid of Nightbot so I don't do what I did to POS stocks last week or the week before, whatever it was. It's not a big switch, it is a little bit different. So I will show you what the prize is. The prize is a very brand new, never used coughing artisan. So here we go. So it's never been taken out of the packaging. There it is. Dorothy, if you ping me on Discord, I know you're in the Euro channel, if you want to ping me on there, I will get this sent over to you. MX stemmed coughing artisan, I'll get that out to you. So there we go. There we go. Congratulations, Dorothy. Congratulations. I hope that makes you feel better. Yeah, it's a really nice little artisan. As I say, I just wanted to use the last of the funds that were available from the streaming that have come through. So there we go. So yeah. Yeah, okay, right. Stocks is alright, he already has one, so you can calm down, so there we go. Yeah, it looked really nice on any keyboard. There you go, any keyboard that's got a bit of a purple colourway or a clear colourway, a white colourway, it looked really, really nice. Looks almost like a Pokemon. Yeah, there you go. So there we go. So well done, Dorothy. I'll get that out to you. Do ping me on Discord. I don't know if you have already, but I'll make sure I get that out to you. So yeah, there we go. Right, guys, we're going to carry on with soldering the board. I know we haven't started it, but what we're going to do is we're just going to tack in around the 4 corners first of all. Just double check the PCB, make sure everything's okay, and then we'll go from there. Viewers have dropped now. Yeah, someone's says the viewers have dropped. Yeah, it's a really cool little artisan. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it here just so people can see. There we go. It's in like a clear plastic cling film. It's a bit weird, but hey, there we go. It's just how it came. Okay, so we're just going to do each of the 4 corners here. So I'm just going to solder these on, and then once these 4 corners are soldered on, we'll just double check the board. That's one done. Moving on to the top corner now. And then we'll come over to this side, and then this just stops the board coming apart as we're moving it around and carrying on with the soldering. And then we'll just do a couple of keys in the middle. So I'm just going to go and do the J and the K right in the middle of the board. Okay, there we go. That's all soldered up. I'm just going to double check that everything is all nicely and neatly aligned. Nothing's missing, nothing's got a missing pin. Just make sure everything looks all neat and tidy. And then we'll carry on with the soldering. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's just see what is happening in chat. Stocks already has that one. Yep. Oh damn, those are cool artisans. Yeah, they're really cool. Yeah, I really like them. I've got another one that's my own as well. I really like them. Stream's still lagging. It was 10 seconds straight of Jay saying, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, dude. Tell us about your car collection for us newbies while you're soldering. Jay keeps... I like my cars. My pride and joy is my Datsun Z car from 1976. It's in a lovely orange colour. It's metallic orange. The paint's actually called Gamma Gold. It's an original car, 40,000 miles on the clock from new in 1976. Most of the things on the car are original. There's been some slight tweaks and changes. I'm probably going to do a bit of a Periscope stream at some point in the new year because I'll be getting it back out in the spring. So yeah, there'll be that. We've got the Caterham, the Vauxhall VX220. We've got a couple of daily driver cars, all sorts of an old VW Beetle. I've got a Mazda 6 from 2016. I drive a 2018 Kia Sportage as a daily driver car. The missus has got an old Peugeot 107. Yeah, we've got quite a few cars. So yeah, there we go. I love my cars. Yeah, and I will probably do a Periscope stream from the garage at some point where all of the rest of the cars are located at some point in the future. So yeah, we'll get there. Replace face cam with artisan cam. Yeah, so I just hold that there all night. There we go. Hold on. How about that? Is that good? Can solder also keep my parents' marriage from falling apart? Oh man, that's sad. That's sad. My parents split up when I was young, so I hope everything's alright, man. Breathing in the fumes like a real man. Yeah, well, I don't solder that much. It's not really anything to worry about. Whenever he decides to build the Caterham, yeah, I'll do a stream then. Yeah, he likes Peugeots. We've got one Peugeot. I want a video of your Datsun, to be honest. I do have a video I can share. If you ping me on Discord, I can share a video where I walk around the car while it's running. Yeah, it's still in kit form. Stotty boy, it needs to be built at some point. Yeah, the Periscope stream, it will be late spring, I'll be honest. It's probably 3 or 4 months away, and that'll be when I take the Datsun out of storage because it's my pride and joy, and when I go for the first drive, and I'll do a bit of a Periscope stream. Big collector. Yeah, I like cars. I spend more on cars than I do on keyboards, let's put it that way. Anyway, let's carry on with the soldering before my soldering iron melts into the desk. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to work my way across the top and then go down each row as we need to. I'm just going to touch up this one a little bit. And we're just going to work our way across. Okay. Once we've done this row, we'll move on to the other rows. Try and solder it as fairly quickly. Plan here is not to take too long with the soldering. Then we can get the board built up, get some caps put on it, and then I can test it off stream, make sure everything's working. And then it'll be the big gap, the long winter until Top Clack in the new year, guys, which I'm really excited for. And just to tell you about some of the build streams that are coming up, I've got a Salmon Alps 66 Cyclops build that's going to come up early in the new year. The Vern is about to be with me any day now. I was hoping I'd get to show it off on stream today, but it hasn't arrived as yet. But when the Vern arrives, that will be being built in the new year too. I've also got Pingu's 60XT prototype that we'll be building, so that should be fairly early in the new year. That'll probably be the first or second week of January, depending on which way around we do the rest of the builds. I've also got a Zephyr coming as well, so we'll be doing a Zephyr build. That's going to be really interesting. I'm trying to secure a unicorn spot when the unicorn group buy goes live as well. So I'm not sure whether it'll be myself or Brian that does that, but I'm going to try and pick one of those up as well. I've got an Exent as well, which you guys saw on stream just the other week. That needs to be built as well. That's currently being painted the same colour as my Datsun. So that will be coloured in the Gamma Gold colour that's on my Datsun car. I should be picking that up late January from the paint shop, so hopefully that will all be fine and good by that point as well. What else? We've got a couple of duck boards, 2 duck vipers to build. One's a rebuild, it needs stripping down and rebuilding, so we'll be doing that as well. I've got a duck octagon to do as well in the new year. Hopefully, our Future Crime's here as well. Hey man, hopefully Future Crime's going to sell. I was literally about to mention this as well. Hopefully Future Crime's going to sell me his polycarbonate LZST, so that might be a build in the near future as well. So lots and lots planned for 2019 in terms of the stream. So we'll see what we get to, and there might even be WizBlue's box CP as well if that deal does come off. If we do manage to come up with a deal, so we'll see how we get on. I think I've got a couple of group buy boards coming as well. So now I've got the Doro 67 coming. I've also got the TR60 coming. Zondat's also going to lend me one of his T60 boards. So I'll be building that and then sending it on to Brian for him to have a look at as well. So yeah, lots and lots of stuff coming, guys. Lots of builds coming. And Lily Hijitsu as well. Thank you very much for the follow. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Lily. Okay. Just working our way slowly across the board here, guys. Before I give this to Mel, I will clean up the PCB from the heat marks with some isopropyl alcohol. I'll do that right before I give it to her, so it's all nice and pristine and clean. See what else is going on in chat. Storybook says built a Westfield before. Hull, if you want some qualified help. Nice, yeah. Used to have an Evo 9, a 350Z, 240Z, Golf 3 RS6. Nice. I used to have a 350Z as well, and I'm kind of tempted to get a 370Z. I almost bought one about a year ago, so we'll see. 3D print yourself a TS100 Santa. I know, I keep meaning to. It's one of the things I should build, Gio. You're right. Now I only love keyboards. Wow, I still love my cars. Oh, VR6, not an RS6. Nice. Any DMG numbers available? DMG close, I don't know, close. Oh, come on guys, we can get this one over the line. If you are even half interested in the DMG key set, then just go and buy it, guys, because it's so close to being made now. I've picked up a set. I'm tempted to pick up a second set. I know Future Crime's picking up a couple of sets, even though it's his own set. So guys, come on, help out. Go buy the key set. We've got 50 of you on stream. If at least 2 of you buy it, then it's much closer. I know when I was speaking to Future right at the very beginning of the the weekend, Future said there was about 20 sets left that needed to be bought. So hopefully, guys, we can get that down to like 15 if you guys get into it. So yeah, so we'll see. Oh, the other Lone Star is raiding you with the party of 7. Oh, thanks, man. Lone Star is raiding me. I heard this stream had diodes. We've got key switches, diodes, and God knows what else. Yeah, we're soldering together a mechanical keyboard, guys. So we are just carrying on with that right now. Okay. What's going on in chat? I like the key set, but not that much. Hope to see a lot of meetups. DMG looks great. Oh, Mechatronics is now following. Thanks, man. Thanks for the follow, dude. I really appreciate that. The giveaway is done, sadly. Yes, Dorothy won the coughing artisan that you can see here in the corner. There are diodes, but these are pre-soldered onto the board, man. Hold on, let me show you. So you can see here above all the switches, these are all the diodes that are soldered on already. So they're already in the board, but the diodes are there. Right, where did we get to? Let's carry on with a bit more soldering. Try and finish this up, and then we can put it back in the board. Get some keycaps on it, and show you guys what it sounds like when it's fully built. And we'll see where they go. Was I lied to? No, there are diodes, man. There are diodes. They're already in the board. Did I design the PCB? No, the PCB was made by Liku, designed by Liku, and this is the Fingers L3 65 layout for a Kin keyboard called a TX65, which you'll see in just a few minutes once we finish the soldering. We'll be building it all up and putting it all together. Okay. When does the buy for GMK DMG end? So I think it was supposed to end on Friday, just gone, but it has been extended. So I think it's got another week for people to buy the key set. I joined about 2 weeks ago now, I think, about 10 days, 14 days ago. So you guys have got until the end of this week to join if you can. but it is well worth picking up that set. Game Boy inspired key set for MX compatible switches. I think it even got featured on Kotaku and a couple of other gaming websites as well in the interest check phase, which is really good. In the future, I really hope it makes it, dude. What I would love is for both you and I to turn up with our Alice's at the next UK meetup with it on. Apparently I'm getting a USB device malfunction. I don't know what that is, but that's happening on my PC right now. Okay. So we're slowly getting there, guys. We're just quickly soldering all of these key switches in. I'm just going to done all those already. Just going to make sure we get to the end, and then we'll see where we get to from there. A couple more rows left to go. Bottom row is much easier to do than the rest of them. Only a few switches on there because it's 65%, and I've got spacebar taking up all of the room. Give it 1 second, I'll catch up with what's going on in chat. And if there is anything that you guys want to see on top Clack as well in the new year, do let me know. I'll have a chat with Brian and we'll make whatever you want to happen where possible. I'm all set for improving the show, making it better, making it more accessible as well. So we're just doing the right shift now. It's gone in chat. Yeah, the 14th, this coming Friday is when it ends. Yeah, I really hope DMG makes MOQ. It's so close as well. Same with Shoko as well. Yeah, it'd be really nice for Shoko to make MOQ as well. They're both really nice key sets. I have joined both. I've also joined GMK Calm Depth as well. So I'm hoping all three of those hit MOQ. I think it's a difficult time for keycap sets right before Christmas. It's one of those times. When people struggle with their wallets. Everything's vying for people's money, and it's not the easiest time to sell stuff. Okay, almost finished the soldering here, guys. Just another 10 or so switches on this row, and then the last row to do, and then we're done, and we can carry on with the build. Okay, getting there now, guys. Getting there now. Okay. I have to make sure Mel realises she's not getting the key set with this board once I built it for her. But I'm sure she'll be fine with that. As I say, I think she's going to put GMK Taro key set on this board, which will look really good actually. The purple will look really nice with the white. Okay, so on to the last row now. So this is where we're doing the 1.25U modifier keys. So there's 3 of those, there's 2 done. We'll do the third one, and we're going to jump across to the space bar. There we go, that's all those done. Reflow that. Jumping across to the space bar now. Okay. Okay, now we're going on to the right hand side mods. So these are the 2 1.5U mods. So we're going to solder these in nicely. There we go. And then this is the second one. And then we're going to go onto the arrow keys, of which there's 3 left to solder. No, 2 left to solder. Okay, soldering another hole there, but we're okay. We're all good. We're not using that one. Okay, just 2 keys left now, guys. This is 1, 2, come on. There we go. Last switch now. There we go. This is the last solder to do. There we go. That's all of the soldering done. So I'm just going to unplug that. As I say, I'm going to test the keyboard later on off stream, so we won't be testing it on stream today. Let's just catch up with chat and see where we got to. Proxies you can buy 20 at least. I think the proxies are already buying a lot of them. Dorothy says, I think this might be the start of the Great GMK Depression. I think you might be right. I think there's going to be a lot of key sets that don't seem to make MOQ over the next couple of months. There's been, some high-profile key sets that haven't quite made it. Shoko's looking a bit flaky at the moment, so hopefully everything will be okay. We'll see how we get there. But yeah, there are also big players that are selling keycaps right now. Yeah, so it's interesting that Mastrop struggled to get Carbon R2 out as well. I think Wiz was asking about what the T60 was, and Andy Holland's posted a link for him as well. 105 total 2 DMG key set extras. Oh, nice. Okay. Shock isn't too far off and got extended. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm glad that got stood. People are scared from Necro. Yeah, I kind of understand that. I think Shoko's in a much better position than Necro was. Necro was very different and very difficult to get right. And I think Jessica had a lot of problems as well with the way she looks at her colour. The way she makes a colour choice and the way she looks at colour accuracy on her monitors in her bedroom is probably not the best way to do it. That being said, we'll have to see whether she does another round of key sets or not. Lexorama says, did Jessica design Shoko? No, then it should be fine. Well, there are other people that have got some key sets slightly wrong, but then again there are examples of people who've got key sets right. What people need to be doing is they need to be using RAL colour codes, because that's what GMK like. You can do a key set properly with Pantones. Olivia's shown that with GMK Olivia. She used Pantone colours for that, and then they converted them to the closest RAL colour. And all of that kind of good stuff. But Necro didn't work for whatever reason. It was very different, but it was still within Jessica's personal tolerance of what the key set should and could be. So she was happy with that. And I think it just puts people off a little bit, makes people a little bit wary. Solarized Dark was miles away from where it should have been. It was nothing like it should have been at all. But Solarized Dark is one of my favourite key sets. How it turned out is actually really good, even if it doesn't fit the original theme. I've actually got on two boards. I've got on the VEA, which you can see just here, and then the Canoe as well, just there. Key set stocks just linked are weeby as hell and good, and I will cry when they get released and I can't afford it. I haven't seen them, but I'm not a fan of the weeb key set legends, but yeah. Ochesteroni says, yeah, the colour palette of Shoko scares me because the Necro debacle, even though Jessica didn't design Shoko. I think Shoko is going to be fine. My honest view is that Shoko will be absolutely fine. It's got some big players behind it. It's got people who've been running key sets for a while. It's got, Kono, for example. They're not going to get this wrong with GMK. It's going to be really close. Stocks. I didn't say that Jessica was confirmed blind and not very bright at all. I think she just needs to look at how she's doing the plastics, find real life examples, send them to GMK, let them do the colour matching. Yeah, Future Crime, like you mentioned, DMG is matched to real ABS plastic objects. Doing that is the best way to do it. Second to that is RAL colour codes, because GMK can match RAL colour codes really easily. And then the last option is Pantones, and try and convert them to RAL at some point in the future. I'd always seen the SD renders as being representative of a rather dark environment like my desk. So the Solarized Dark renders were actually supposed to represent the Solarized Dark theme on a lot of text editors. It doesn't do that in any way, shape or form, but the end result key set is really, really nice, and it's one of my favourite key sets. So swings and roundabouts. Anyway, there we go. We are all soldered up. What I'm going to do now is pop this in the case. We're going to put it all together, screw it all together. We'll finish putting the caps on, and then we'll do a typing test for you. Let's just move that to one side. I'm just going to grab the case. So there's the top half of the case. And here's the base. So as you can see, it is that lovely, lovely white colour. There is some little bits of dirt on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a little bit of dirt down in here. We'll probably get that out if we can later on. I'm just going to pop the plate in. As you can see, this is a completely sandwich mount, so it's going to be pinned between the top and the bottom of the case. And we're going to pop that on there. We're going to flip it over. Make sure it all lines up nicely. And then we're going to screw it together. The right screw bit. There we go. So what we're going to do is try and go diametrically opposed. So I'm just going to hold it together here. And then we're going to go, as I said, diametrically opposed. I'm going to nip it tight, screw it down, and that should hold it together nice and neatly and tightly enough for us to get the rest of the screws in. Looks and feels good. I'm going to come over here now, do this bottom corner. Try not to over tighten things too much. Just a nice fastening is good enough. Almost there now with the build, guys. Then we'll get these keycaps on. As I say, we're not going to be able to put caps on the 1.5U modifiers because I just don't have the caps for them in this key set. I'm hoping that I can grab those at a later date actually. Okay, so that's that done. We're now going to pop on the little rubber bump on feet. So there is 4 cutouts for these across the base of the board. I'm just going to pop these in, make sure they're nice and flush and centered in the holes and the slots. And last one. There we go. So there we go, guys. There's the board built. Let's just catch up and see what's been said in chat. I don't like Necro, not going to lie. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologise. I don't like Necro in its current form. I liked the idea. I don't think it in that. Anyway, I don't think Zonda has sold any T60s as yet. No, he's got 10 prototypes coming. Top Clack is getting 1 to have a look at. I think Nathan Kim's getting 1 as well. I think the rest of them will be sold as prototypes. So because there might be defects and things on them as well. He is planning to do a larger run in the future, yes. So assuming there's some successes and some tweaks and some suggestions from everyone who reviews the T60s, Zonda will do a run later on as well. I'll probably wait until more become available in the future then. There is also Max from Cable Car Designs who's done the ANSI group buy. He's got another very similar board called Gambit that is going to enter group buy soon as far as I'm aware. It's a very similar idea to Zonda's as well, but Max actually had his prototype the day Zonda announced his, so yeah, it's one of those things. I think the first one is 10 slots, but yeah, I think you're right. Okay, so there's the board built, guys. Let's get some keycaps on here and see what it looks like with the set in full. And then once we've done that, we'll turn off the music and we'll give it all a try and see what it sounds like. Do a bit of a typing test for you. Need to find the short shift. There it is. As I say, we don't have the 2 right side mods in the right size, so I'm just going to put some smaller ones on for now, just so you guys can see what the board looks like. I'm not sure if the arrows are in this set. I think they are. Okay, almost there. Arrows again. Find the rest of the arrows. 1 more to go. There it is. Oops. This is a DSA key set as well, guys. So, I'm going to print screen. We'll go page up, page down, and then end. We should have backspace. There we go. So that's all of the mods done. We'll now move on to the alphas, get these put in place. Don't need the number keys. In fact, actually we do need the number keys because we're going to do top row in just the numbers. There we go. Lots of keycaps here, guys. I'll get through this as quickly as we can, and then we'll do the build. Sorry, then we'll do the typing test. Not sure if I've got the 9 and the 6 the right way around there, but given it's DSA for this, it doesn't actually matter. Okay. Okay, as I say, the more I look at this key set, the more I like the look of it, the more I think it looks great. Let's try and get it right under the camera so you guys can see actually. Move that out of the way. But yeah, the more I look at this key set, the more I like it. Fair play, Chris, you designed one cracking key set here. Done a really good job of this, man. We're going to go with the deep scoops for the J. Get the letters in the right place. Okay. Again, deep scoops for the homing keys. X on them, so I don't know what it's DSA, it doesn't matter. Okay, making some progress now. Okay, almost there, almost there. Goes up here. That goes there. There we go. And there we go, guys. That's the board all put together nice and neatly. DSA Alchemy brass plate on a white TX65 with MX black switches with 62 gram springs and a 78 gram spring on space. As you can see, it does need 1.5U caps for down here. I don't have them on this particular board because I don't have them in the set. I will have to buy that later on. But as you can see, everything lines up perfectly. The USB port there. Nice big brass weight on the bottom. Excuse the finger marks. All screwed together nicely. And it's probably time for us to do a typing sound test. Let me just pause the music, guys. Let me get this back up. Let me find the window with it open. There we go. That's it. Okay, let's just have a quick chat, catch up on the chat, and then what we'll do is we'll do a sound typing test afterwards. So let's catch up. Was Gambit posted on Geek Hack? It wasn't, no. Max didn't want to post it on Geek Hack because on that post the T60 of the day got his prototype. It was just one of those. It's a 60% case, it's just a tray case. The other one was the ANSI, which is a 65% board, very similar to this one in terms of the fact it's got the blocker next to the mods at the bottom. WizBlue says he already removed middle mounting points with a Dremel on a Tina B case long before I was on that showed the T6 design. Can confirm it makes tray mounts much better, both in terms of feel and sound. Yes, I was talking about the Gambit and not the ANSI. Just the Gambit. ANSI isn't that spendy if you take into account the parts. No, a lot of it, the plates are CNC milled on the ANSI because of the way that they're angled and show around the outside of the case. You can't laser cut them, you have to mill them. So bearing all that in mind, it's a really, really good, well-priced kit, and it is very pretty, as you say. Holy Pandas aren't great. Want to sell some kidneys, says Andy Holland. Yeah. I'm saving money for Paradox, Aquaria, G60 and Hammer. Aquaria looks really nice, and there's a Volcano 660 as well that I'm interested in, as well as the Staccato and a couple of other boards. There's also the J01 coming next year as well, so I've actually ordered my prototype now for the J01 that I talked about on stream a couple of weeks ago. So that will be hopefully here in the new year. It'll be on Top Clack where I'll show it, and we'll try and do a build on stream at some point in the new year as well. That's a triple gasket board. This looks absolutely fantastic. Quedecker, well done finishing your QMK CP layout. Well done, man. I'm really happy for you doing that. The other Lone Star says, I love the enter key shape. So this is an ISO enter board. This is also ISO enter. There's two main prevalent types of layout in the mechanical keyboard community. ISO, which is predominantly UK and EU, where you have an enter key here and an additional key there for your hash or pound key. And then you have a short left shift and a backslash key there as well. Normally what you'll see on other boards is you'll see this layout that I'm going to put on top. So you'll see something along the lines of that. So you'll see a shift key over here that's full size. You'll then see a return key and the backslash key up there, and that's the ANSI layout. So it's very, very different to ISO in terms of how you feel interact with the board. You've got a much larger operator for your shift finger, whereas on the ISO version, the UK and EU version, you've got a much shorter operating window, but you do have an extra key there for programming, coding, and things like that as well. So there is one extra key on the ISO layout, which makes it a little bit more user-friendly in my opinion. I love the shape of the enter key. It looks fantastic. Alchemy looks really nice, and I love that it has Mono Legends as default. Abso-freaking-lutely. So Mono Legends is one of the nicest things that this has. So you don't have any question mark on slash because you have to press shift to hit it. So it's just the original base layer Legends. I really think it's on point. Kin is the Don. Yeah, Kin boards are amazing. I built my TX1800 V2 on stream a couple of weeks ago. That board is absolutely stunning the way through. I've done another TX65 build previously, a TX60 build as well, I think. All really, really nice. Odin and Singe also say it looks nice and it's gorgeous. Geo still wants the J01. Yeah, hopefully next year. Do you still have to install the hot swappable keyboards, says Fabry Rock? You don't know. You can just push the switches in and pull them out. It's dead easy. You don't have to do any soldering on those. With that being said, I do prefer a solid board. It feels a little bit more firm under use. I'm a little bit more concerned about the hot swap sockets needing changing every now and again. I think they only last 100 swaps, so you just need to be careful with that. What is triple gasket? Is that top and bottom of plate and also between the top and the base? So the triple gasket on the J01 is pretty much that. If you think of it, you've got three layers. So normally what you have is you have your plate and then you have your PCB underneath, which is connected via your switches. You have your switches sat in between there. What the gasket does on the J01 is it's triple gasket. So there's a gasket that goes around the edge above the plate. There's a gasket that goes round the edge of the plate, so all the way around the edge of the plate, and then there's also a third gasket that sits between the PCB and the plate, and all three are compressed together on the end, and that's what holds the plate in position. So it should be quite quiet. It should be should really focus on key switch sound rather than actual board sound, and it should be really interesting as well. The only reason you need to solder a hotspot board is to fix something. Yes. How much customs and extra fees you get from Mashdrop to the EU, roughly cost? It depends on the country you're in. In the UK, it's 21% plus a Royal Mail fee as well for delivery. It depends entirely on which you're in. I think the average across the EU, as the guys are saying, is about 20%, but it will be your country's VAT rate. And if you hit it, it'll be your country's customs rate as well. So in the UK, I think that's 135 quid. Anything above that, you have to pay customs on as well. So yeah, it's very, very different. So anyway, here's the board. Shall we do a bit of a sound typing test? Shall we see what it sounds like? Now, I apologise to anyone who hasn't seen my typing before. I build keyboards week in, week out, but I can't type for shit. So I apologise for the way that my typing looks and is, but it will give you a good feel for the sound of the board. This board here is here for a reason. This is also built with MX Black switches, so what we'll be able to do is have a look at that as well and compare the sound, although that is a different build. It's the same plate material, a different keyboard, and it's got a different keycap style on there as well, but it'll be a good template for us to try it against. Let me just grab up a notepad. Oh, that's why it went off earlier on, because I pushed the USB cable out on the board. Hold on. Okay, so I've got a new notepad screen up, so I can start typing away. So let's give you a bit of a sound demo of what this one sounds like. So. There you go, guys. I think it sounds good. It sounds good. Stocks is winding me up about my travel. The board sounds great. Just for reference, this is what the Nokia 268 with blacks and an NT3 keycap set sounds like. There we go. Gives you kind of a broad view. So let's just do a direct comparison. There we go. Just that's how it sounds. I think it sounds great. It's just one of those things. Let's see what you guys think and have said. I assume the J01 is a board designed by Jay. Yes, with the help of Teslatron. It's my board that I've been designing over the past couple of months. It will not be group buyed or IC'd. It's just for me, guys, which might annoy some of you. Yes, Stokes, I use my index finger for spacebar. Yes, you can read all day long if you want, but I'm showing you the sound. There we go. Smaller keyboards for less finger travel and 15 miles a year travel in the right hand movement. Yeah, it's just the way I type. It's one of those things, guys. You don't have to worry about it, guys. It's just my typing. I am learning how to touch type using the Alice and the VEA. I can do it, but it's really slow and it wouldn't be valid for a sound test just yet. So give me a couple more weeks, guys. Wiz says, wait, why is there huge gaps on the bottom row? I don't have any 1.5U mods in this kit. They are only in the extras kit, and I didn't realise until after I'd ordered it and bought it, so I'm going to have to buy another kit for it at some point, just to get the 1.5U mods and the additional compatibility keys. A 1U keyboard is optimal for finger travel. There you go. Yeah, that's it. Chris does say massive right hand travel. Yeah, it's just one of those things. That's how how we type. Gio says he'll fight me for a J01. Hey man, I've already said if the prototype turns out alright and then I get a production model for myself, I will send you the prototype, dude. You can have the prototype. Jay, speaking of the VEA, what do you think of the IC for the next version? So I'm really glad to see it come back. I love the VEA. It was my end game build, and then it hasn't been my end game at all. But I love my VEA. I think it's absolutely great. It's fantastic as a typing experience. It sounds good. It feels good. In terms of version 2, I'm disappointed in a couple of little bits and pieces. I'm disappointed that they still kept the SATA cable. That should have changed and become TRRS or USB-C or something, anything else. HDMI Mini or something, God, would have even been better. I also dislike the new logo that they've gone for. They've gone for a badge design that sits instead of the original logo design, which I infilled on mine in copper. I much prefer the version 1 for that. And the other thing I'm sad about is that they're not doing the tenting kit that they did with the version 1 as well. The tenting kit is my favourite part of it. So instead of it just being horizontal, it actually tilts it up there and then splits as well. So you've got a tented position for your fingers and hands, and it's just much more comfortable to relax like that, especially with the wrist rests. So I think it's really good to see it come back. I think that's just one of the challenges of it. We'll see how it goes. If you guys have got any other questions for me, guys, please do post them in chat now. This is, as I said earlier on, this is my last stream. Dorothy's won the giveaway. It's the last stream on this channel. I will be moving to Top Clack and taking almost a month's break. The 3rd of January is my first Top Clack show. I think it's the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th will be my first build in the new year. I think it'll probably be the Vern, and then the following week will be Pingu's 60XT prototype, which I'll be showing off on my very first Top Clack stream as well. So yeah, I can see the stream, you're on screen. So I'll be on Top Clack from the new year. I know you do, Stocks. I know you love me. I love you too, man. I love you too. Mayor Advice Guy says you are right, no SATA cables on keyboards, need IDE or SAS cables instead. You could use an IDE cable. In fact, actually the Hyper 7 to talk to the daughter board and the main board, the next version might use an IDE cable because it's just easier for everyone. No, future my build streams will be in this slot, so they'll start between 7:30 and 8 PM every Sunday evening in UK. So that's roughly 9 o'clock, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the EU, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, and about 12 noon on the West Coast for reference in America. So the only thing I'll be doing on Top Clack time, as it were, in American time, will be the Top Clack weekly show. So I'll be on the news segment with Brian. All of my builds will take place at this sort of slot, this sort of time in the UK on the Top Clack channel. Simple as that. Quadenk has got to go. Thank you for all the good times on the channel. Enjoy your time off, and we'll see you again on Top Clack. Yeah, I can't wait. Quadenk, guys, Quadenk is going to be streaming next week. I'll host him on this channel, so you might see a ping next week on my channel, because I'm going to host Quadenk, and then you guys can jump over to his channel and watch and support him there. I'm going to try and be on his stream as well, if he'll let me. I'm going to try and dial in through Skype and do a bit of a video call with him, and potentially Egler as well. If we can arrange the time to do it, it'd be really good fun to do that, so I might be on stream then. If not, I'll definitely be in chat, and I'll definitely be chatting with Quadenk while he builds his white TX65. So it'll be very similar to this build, only a little bit bigger. And I'm not sure what switches he's doing. I think he's doing Holy Razor switches, so that'll be really interesting to see and hear as well. You're going to be asleep in news anchor? Well, yeah, maybe. The thing is, I don't work every Friday. I only work every other Friday, future. And the Fridays that I do work, I work from home, so I'm not in the office and I can sleep in. And it's one of those things. So guys, if you've got any questions, do ping them up now. As I say, it's going to be a bit of a break, but there's lots coming in the new year. There's the Vern, which should be here in the next couple of days. I'll be building that in the first week in January. I've got a Zephyr on the way. I've got the 60XT from Pingu. That is Pingu's person now. That I need to build as well and test out the prototype for that. I've got the J01 coming. I've got a couple of duck boards coming. I've potentially got Future Crimes LZST if I can talk him out of it. I've got all sorts of bits and pieces coming, so loads to share with you guys next year. Hopefully some more prototypes as well. I'm going to try and get the Gambit prototype and the Noxu T60 prototype off Max and Zonda at the same time, so I can do a direct comparison with them both, use the same plate and PCB and build and screw them into each and do one after the other and see how they sound and feel. So yeah, so lots and lots of bits and pieces coming. As I say, next year is going to be a really good year for both Top Clack and myself. We'll be progressing forward, and I'll be working with Brian on a number of different projects. So if you guys have got any feedback, any thoughts, any concerns, considerations, or otherwise that you want me to take into consideration for my move over to Top Clack, let me know. I'm open to all criticism, feedback, whatever you want to call it. Tell me I'm crap, tell me I'm great, whatever you want to say, guys. I want to hear it, and I want to try and take that forward. There isn't any more questions coming through, but I do want to say thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you for all of the follows. Thank you for all of the subscriptions, if I can get my words out. Thank you for all of the donations, all of the bits, everything else, guys. I've genuinely really appreciated it over the past 6-7 months that we've been streaming. Only build ISO on Top Clack for top meme. Most of my builds will be ISO. The only ones I won't build ISO boards that don't support it. So the Vern first build won't support it. The second run will. The Zephyr doesn't support it either at all. So I've got no choice there. Singe, thank you, man. I will see you again soon. Andy Holland as well. Thank you, dude, as well. I will catch you probably in the MK UK Discord at some point. And if not, I'll see you next year as well. But guys, that's going to be it. I'm going to close down the stream now. So this will be the last time I end the stream officially. The channel may or may not be revived in the future. What happens to the subs that people forget to cancel when they renew after this show? I have no idea, but cancel them, guys. If you guys don't want to, guys, just cancel your subscriptions, move them over to Top Clack, and do that straight after the stream. It's reminders to do it now. Cancel your subscriptions. This channel isn't going to end. Is going to end. It's not going to be used anymore, other than 1 week next week for Querdenker, where I'm going to just post and try and get him some views as well, and I'll be there to support him. Everything after this is going to be on Top Clack. If you guys want to come over and join the Top Clack Discord, please do so. We'd love to have you all there. Love to have you chatting out. In terms of my Jay's Place Discord server, that will be left open for another couple of weeks. It'll be closed down probably mid to late January. Feel free to use it if you want, guys, or if not, then I'll be closing that down. And thank you for all the support. Can we have an alley into exit for the meme? I don't even know what you mean there. Sorry, boy. Ping me later on and tell me what you mean, man. But again, once again, thank you from my heart to all of you guys for following me. Thanks again for I'm flying to Brian's every Thursday. No, I'll be sat here doing it right here. This is where I'll be, right where I am now. Thank you again for all your support. I will see you on Top Clack. I'll be there. I hope you are too. I hope you come across. I hope you join on the Top Clack Discord. Keep chatting to me. I'll be still in MK UK. I'll still be in the Customs channel, the Europe channel. I'll be all over Discord. You can still hit me up any way you want to. But yeah, peace out, guys. Thank you very much for the time. And thank you very much for supporting me. I really appreciate it, guys. Really do. Really do. But thanks again, guys. This is going to be it. Signing off for the final time. I'll see you all again later, and I'll chat to you on Discord. See you guys.